Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, TSPRavshiva, the spiritual philanthropist. So I just wanted to, if you guys saw earlier, I was trying to get things together. Also, I don't have my background. If you look back here, I don't have my actual setup, how I usually do with a green screen. I just moved into a new place, so I'm trying to get everything together and organize it well. But aside from that, you remember that if you watch my videos, you know that I have plenty of dreams. The last recent dream that I had, which I'll find here and I'll show it to you. It was also posted on Facebook, which Facebook actually pretty much, I would say, censors a lot of the stuff that I put up, guys. They do it because I'm sure they don't want people to know that I have this ability. It's really strange. But here, if you look here, you'll see April 29th, there will be a great flood of the east coast of America, right? And then as I scroll down here, you'll see I made videos about them not showing it. East Coast flooding. My prediction, they put Rast Coast, I put East Coast flooding, and this is where I put the actual thing. But look at the. I have almost 100,000 people. Only I like it, and I made one comment. This is to show you what they do. This is when they actually showed on the news how bad the flooding was here in the East Coast. I put another prediction comes true. And you can see here, I'm sure they're probably censoring me here on YouTube as well. If the United States Department of Defense is watching me, then most likely everybody else is watching. But I think they should be more interested in what I can do and try, instead of trying to make me look like something, that's dangerous in some way. It's a real thing. It's been around forever. I'm just one of those people that are pretty damn good at it, obviously. And I wrote 5 days ago, here comes the storm. I have seen it, and it is human nature. In essence, my people will be safe, but everyone in New York City and boroughs will be vulnerable to the power and incentive of the storm unless you know my words and have forgiveness and compassion in your heart. Okay, so I write all these things here. And there's a whole bunch of, when the, what do you call it? The fire in the sky is one of the ones I wrote, forecasted or predicted as well. And that also, and the earthquake right before that in Turkey, I predicted it. I said 100% I know there's going to be a huge earthquake. And like usual, it did happen that way. And, if this was anybody else with the accuracy that I have, there would be news broadcasts about how accurate I am. But I think what they're trying to do now is people like me, they're trying to keep us silent and use us in ways. They know how to stimulate us now through social media and other ways of stimulating us. They know when we get emotionally disturbed, we fall into a place which is a safe haven for us, people like myself. I call myself a wandering avatar because I exhibit some of the things that an avatar does, not everything. There are people out there that can do a hell of a lot more than I can, but I'm one of those people. I even carry a gene that makes me immune to AIDS and HIV. I have full, immunity to it. Full resistance. I'm one of the very few people on the planet. Less than 1% of us have it. I thought I'd get rid of that sound when I left the city in New York. It seems to follow me everywhere I go, the sound. It's horrible. But, yeah, guys, these things are real. I'm trying to get some other information to show you guys how real it actually is, but I'm having a hard time getting it from certain places. And people are denying it, and then there's video footage missing and things like that. I don't know why they're doing that, but they won't give it to me, and they're making excuses for me to, get access to it. But the reason I say that we're being studied is on more than one occasion. I've had dreams where they've put me in situations where I wouldn't put myself in that situation, and it was, I could see the entities that were there watching me closely, as if they were observing me in each and every instance, and they did horrible things, just to see how I would react. My reaction always is to stay calm, no matter what the situation is. And one of the things I found out is that if you call on any of the names of God, any of them, it doesn't matter which one, any of the names of God seem to work to fend off whatever this is in that place. When you go to sleep, you're not just doing anything. There's not just nonsense going on. You're susceptible and vulnerable for other entities that are maybe higher evolved intelligent beings that have the technology to get into your mind, which with the technology that we have today with Neuralink and other things that can read your dreams, you can see that we're just, not that far away from what I'm talking about. Social media, I believe, was created for a reason, to be able to study the entire human race. And not just study it. They have algorithms out there now that can, it's like, just picture the consciousness like an ocean. They can push the current in any direction that they want, and people will follow because it's just what we do. Most of us. Some of us make our own currents. The ones that make our own currents, they don't like that because they like to control the currents, like the currency. So I know it sounded dumb, but that's just the truth. It really is the truth. And people like myself are dangerous to the establishment because of the ability to foresee and predict the future faster than a computer. Not even a quantum computer can beat me in this situation, and I know that, and they know that. I'm going to come out with something even more powerful that they'll never know how I got the information. I go into deep states of meditation. I can see everything. I can get numbers that I want to from these things. I can get any bits of information that I need. And I just realize now more and more how important that is. Information is the future. Everything is information. And if you can unlock information without using technology, then you'd be like a god here on Earth. So, not saying that I am, but there are people out there just like me, many others, that have the ability, I think, to be able to do what I do. Maybe not at the same level. My younger brother made a joke about me being Professor Xavier because, I did have my neck surgery, if you can see the scars there. And, it's become much more difficult for me to do things. But I rely solely on my spirit for everything. And I have no fear of anything or anyone on this plane of existence. I know that they all fear the same thing that everyone else does. And I don't believe that in this life, if you still believe in the idea of life and death, and you're limited in the way you think, if that's what you believe. And I think there's a lot of people that have that belief. There are so many things out there, and we're just breaking the surface of what's happening out in the world. I was, I did a lot of videos on the Las Vegas aliens, and that was very interesting to me, the Las Vegas aliens, because they sound like the Anunnaki. They were like 10 feet tall giants that came here in a ship that, crash landed. So you have to think about that. If a ship crash landed, here on the planet, and it came from another solar system, right? From another galaxy, or even, who knows where exactly this thing came from, wherever it came from, it's still scary to think that they are susceptible to crashing here on this planet. Okay. If you have all that technology and you've come light years here, what on this planet can make you have a wreck, And basically, let me turn some of this ear towards me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like some of the things that they say, I do believe that there definitely are other life forces out there, other intelligence out there. But some of the things that they're doing now is ridiculous. They want to block out the sun. Did you guys know that? They want to block out the sun. Now, if that's not alien enough, what if these things come from a place where they can't survive in the sun, but all the rest of us, every creature on this planet, every plant on this planet, every living thing here, majority of it needs the sun. If you block out the sun, the importance, the significance that it has to every living thing on this planet, it'll deplete us. It'll kill us in a very volatile way. And I think maybe, if you wanted to destroy the living things on this planet, block out the sun. It's easier than going to war. Block out the sun, because every living thing will die. So if, people aren't using their brains, they're not seeing that the weather patterns are changing. They're not seeing that human beings are changing. You guys have forgotten some of the ancient ways. In the ancient times, there were people like me. They were called oracles. They were able to see into the future and to do certain. I can do more than just see into the future, but those are one of the things that that there were people like that had that ability. Were called oracles. There is so many. There are so many things that science has to offer, and I don't believe that science is a bad thing, because I love physics, and I just had to take out of time. Had gotten accepted into City Tech for a computational physics degree, and when my neck was broken and stuff, I had to take out like 2 years with COVID and everything else happening. 2 or 3 years, about 3 years now, and I wasn't able to go back. But I'm going to get back in now and finish my degree in physics. The reason that I'm taking physics is I find that when I get into these places that I have these experiences, I no longer have to be so afraid of what I'm experiencing. The last one that I had, where I was in some place where I jumped in the air knowing that my body felt lighter, and I started floating upwards and came right back down in front of this person. And she looked at me, and I looked at her and I said, I didn't mean to scare you, not knowing if she knew I could do that. And she goes, no, you didn't scare me. She goes, it's normal. She goes, when you're off world, you can do that. And it kind of stunned me. I said, off world? And then I started looking around, and I realized I was in this big, huge, like place, like ship, and you can see there were transparent parts where you could see out to the stars. And then when I woke up and I had looked up the term off world, it means you're not on Earth anymore, or could be any planet, and people think that we need these bodies to travel, but for ancient times, I'm a big practitioner of yoga since I was 9 years old. I was born into it in a sense, and I've developed my practice over the years. It's my most preferred thing to do, is to be in a state of meditation. And when you realize that the body is just a biological suit, it's a biological outfit that we wear, whatever brings us, whatever our lives are, whatever gives us that energy, that manifestation of life, they call it God. Some people call it a spark of intelligence. They all try to use all kinds of weird things to say. I don't know what to call it. The only thing I can think of is the ancient terms, prana. And prana is the life force that runs through the air, which the entire planet is composed of as well. And everything works in an ecosystem. All right? All of us work together in this giant ecosystem. And if you look at that just logically alone, this again is why I love studying physics, because it shows how the ecosystem works outside of us and inside of us, and inside of everything and outside of everything. It shows how amazing the ecosystem is, and that is why all of the people, the astronomers and the scientists and the physicists and astrophysicists, everybody's looking, and especially the industrial military complex of any country, they're going to want to know if there's another Earth-like planet, an M-class planet. What do I mean by M-class planet? It's the Goldilocks zone. It's in the correct position, distance from a sun that gives it the ability to have life, to support life. That's the M-class planet, the Goldilocks zone. Okay? So if they ever find a Goldilocks zone planet, an M-class planet, most likely, if we all have the ability to get into space, most likely what's happening right now, we must have found something. And I think that's why the entire world is starting to do so many of the things that it's doing. That's why Elon Musk and all these other people are trying to get out to Mars. Maybe Mars has more than what they tell us. And Mars is very, very similar to us. I believe it's very close to the Goldilocks zone, and there probably is very, a lot less work to do than if you were to try to go on one of the exterior planets further out. And you can't go further or closer to the sun because the heat would be so intense. So if Mars is indeed what I think it is, no wonder that Putin is trying to destroy Ukraine and start a war, and China and Japan and Korea, North Korea, and all these other countries are up in arms because most likely, and they want to blot out the sun and all this other BS that they want to do. Something really is strange, something really strange is going on, and there's so many things about UFOs. We have a space force, when did that happen? We have a space force. We have so many things that are happening. Guys, I'm telling you, there are other people talking about this, but the deeper I get into this and the more I start to study it, I don't need technology to figure it out. The images come into my mind. They know that. I'm going to pretty soon isolate some really, really good images and draw them out for you. And only certain people will know what those images mean. And most likely they'll have to take me more seriously at that point when I show them what they're trying to hide. Okay? I'm working on that next. I realize that I have access to certain things that so many people can't get access to. There's no technology on Earth that can do what I do. And there are other people on the planet. Thank God. I don't know who they are. I would never say who they are. That they're probably in the mountains of the Himalayas, somewhere in those big jungles. And they stay hidden from society for a reason. I'll tell you what, if we were to get invaded by another species, humankind, would not be able to fend off a more powerful, more intelligent life form, species. The only defense we would have is a spiritual defense, and that would be with the entire population of holy men, real holy men, the real old sages that know the ancient wisdom, that know how to fight without the physical. They can fight from the spiritual. They would be our only true defense in any type of situation like this. And I think that's what's also preventing us right now from being invaded. Everybody wonders why are we, well, if they're here, why didn't they invade? The only thing I can think of is that something is protecting us. I know that there is a God. I definitely know that. But I know that there are other types of beings here as well. And every Bible says it. If people want to deny the realities that exist, that's fine. But don't try and distort, or taint them with manipulative ideology just to fit your own selfish agendas. When I put out my information, I do not associate a specific ideology or label or anything like that with it. I put it out there as information that I've gotten. I'm giving it to you. You guys can assemble it in the way that you can. Everybody is going to do that in their own way. Not everybody has the same perspective and the ability to understand the same things. But I'm going to put it out there in a way, hopefully, that'll be universal. And, of course, we're always going to have naysayers. We're always going to have people that are going to always talk crap. It's just the nature of the beast, so to speak. The nature of the beast is confusion, delusion, megalomaniac, trying to control everything and everyone, almost to the level of being a Nazi, and they don't even realize it. There's a lot of religions that have the same way of or pattern of behavior. You look at the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, even some Hindus. At some point, they get to the point where they're like Nazis. It's either this way or it's not. And once you get to that place, you've lost the entire purpose of what God really tried to explain to us. There's so many different ways you can look at it. When Yeshua, the Christ, the kingdom of God is within. The kingdom of God is within, that means he's telling you have to learn how to go within. In yoga, meditation is all about going within, taking yourself out of the world and going within. Isn't that interesting? Christ knew this. That was his way, his personal way of explaining the kingdom of God. And there's so many different ways of interpreting things, but when you look at it in the literal sense, what other way can you go inward? Tell me. We're consistently being bombarded on the from the outside, from all of our senses. Our emotions are being toyed with, especially on social media and and news media outlets. They know how to push our buttons. They know how to make the current a certain strength, a certain wave. These are algorithms that they have now. They can control that. They realize that our senses. It's so interesting how this works. There's something called technology, which I love very much, and the science behind it. But the ancient people, the ancient great sages, great beings, great souls, all said, do not let yourself be tempted by the body and the senses, the flesh. And is it coincidental that everything about technology now is basically tempting your flesh in every which way you can think of? Some people will not see that, but it's as clear as day to me. You know, when I look at it, yes, we are being tempted on a huge scale. You know, what can we do about this? The only thing that we can do is to go inward, just as Christ, the Yeshua, the Christ, had said. Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, he preached the same thing. Many of the greats, you know, preached this very same ideology, this very same method of dealing with the madness here in this world. These are things that I contemplate now, and I'm getting back into, you know, to finish my degree in physics, because I know that a lot of the things that I'm going to experience, you know, or the things that I do, I want to make sure and be able to write about it as well, you know, and to explain it in a way that even scientists won't be able to question it, you know. And even now, if I get questioned by certain things, I'm able to answer in my own way and to keep up with what's happening in the world of physics. And some of the people don't like that. They really don't like the fact that I can hang and stand with them on a certain level. I want to show you guys something real fast. If you look here, this is the book that I have right here. You can see it, The Code of Immortality, The Fallen Star. I wrote this, and this is here, you can see it here. An ancient artifact has been found, and reality as we know it will never be the same. The secret global government known elusively as the Illuminati has made every government go on a witch hunt to detect people from around the world that holds a specific biosignature, all in the hope to possess the code of immortality. All the while, alien assassins are tracking a being that possesses a special DNA sequence that can allow beings from another dimension to enter into Earth's realm. The saga begins. And if you read a sample of it, you'll see it here. Here's an actual sample of it. The Code of Immortality Fallen. So I wrote this as a screenplay, right, for a movie. You'll see it's written exactly like a movie. I'll be working on the actual drawings, the graphic part of the novel soon, and I'll put them together, and then I'll release it to everyone. Once, you know, it's going to take me a while. I'm doing this all on my own, guys. You know, so you can see here, I mean, it's really well written. This would be a great movie. You know, first of all, it would be an awesome movie. It's a movie that I would want to see, you know, and this is why I wrote it. So I hope you guys, you know, pay attention to some of the stuff that I do and look at it, and you'll see that there's a plethora of really cool stuff that I'm working on with all the things that I speak about. And I believe that these things are coming to me for a reason, you know. So like I said here, I'm always getting blocked. I'm always the algorithms work against me. And I know why they work against me, because they're so afraid that when I speak, people will listen. That's all it is. And I have a tendency to do that whenever I talk. But that's why I might have to just be out in public speaking in person. I think that might be go the old-fashioned route. You know, they can't stop that. They can play with it here, and they can play with the algorithms and prevent me from being seen here, but not there. But guys, I'm going to leave you with that here, and I will be on again talking more about these subjects. I would love to hear your feedback, to hear what you guys have to say. All right? See you guys. Have a great night. Stay safe. And keep a good attitude. Stay positive, man. All right? Talk to you guys. See you then.